gotta talk about some of the cards that you're gonna want to pick up from Burst Protocol. Make sure you guys smash the crap out of that first penguin button so you guys don't miss out more. It's kind of, honestly, the first penguin I think is one of the most exciting cards out of this set. If you control no face-up monsters, you can special summon this card from the hand. If summoned this way, you can treat it becomes treated as a tuner, and you can discard a card to reveal a water synchro monster from your extra deck. To add a water monster from your deck to your hand with the same type, but one level lower than the revealed monster. And then you can change this card to face down defense position. And you cannot special summon from the extra deck for the rest of this turn, except for water monsters. Now, is this card really all that it's meant to be with, you know, it being water? Yes. The fact that I can literally beam this out, treat it as a tuner, and I can grab any water monster I need with the massive amount of water stuff that's available, yeah. I'm not surprised to see Water Barrier Statue just got cratered off of the meta, because this would have been way too strong of an interaction. Let's talk about Assault Mode. So, Assault Mode is going to be that deck that you're going to look at and you're going to be like, man, I really just want to spam some Stardust Assault Modes, because the deck just seems very fun. There's also all the extra toolbox stuff that you can kind of get access to with it, but that's kind of a story for, you know, later on when we're kind of looking at the little tools that we've got. Now, with that all being said, people, do I think that, you know, spamming assault mode stuff is going to be, you know, is it worth the price point? I mean, it's not all that expensive, honestly. You got to remember, when you're diving into the world of Synchro Toolbox decks, this one is going to take a little bit more setup. You know, it's definitely going to be more of a casual deck. Because if you end up having like your E-Telly or something cut off, you do kind of scramble to find a way to set up an additional like end board, and that can cause you some problems. So be wary of that. Dark Lords. Dark Lords were very, 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 very strong in a lot of the initial early Japan setup that we were seeing. And honestly, I am probably most excited about Dark Lords outside of Assault Mode, because the way that Dark Lords are able just to use all of the generic fairy stuff, and it's also not like you can't combine this and abuse, you know, Herald of Orange Light, Herald of Green Light. You have access to, you know, Osteonato and friends as well, because they are also fairy monsters. I mean, if you're going to make the big fusions, they're going to require Dark Lord ones in terms of, you know, what you're able to make. But that's just fine, people. You got to just remember, the options and toolbox capabilities that you get with the multiple engines is going to make this seem really, really fun. And I don't know, man, anytime Dark Lords are playable, oh, it's so cool. New Morningstar is a very, very cool card. Art Mage. So Art Mage did get some very nice consistency upgrades in this set. The fact that you now have a fusion monster that you can make super easily, and then you're able to basically bridge into any of the rest of the engine pieces that you need for the deck, is actually a saving grace. This support is going to put Art Mage a lot further on the map. And I mean, if you've looked at regional data recently, you've seen Art Mage has had a lot of success. We just saw Distant Coder, I believe, won a regional with K9 Art Mage. So the deck is already at the point of being a meta challenger. So being able to spicing this up and actually start to see, oh, hey, different little cards are coming for this. And if we're upgrading a deck's consistency, oh, ho, ho, you know, it's about to be a lot more fun. So I really am excited for this one, for sure. Rescue Ace. Now, Rescue Ace is going to get some very nice consistency pieces in this set, including but not limited to a brand new Link 4. Now, you're probably like, oh boy, you know, a Link 4 is a Rescue Ace end board. You know, that's not super exciting in the design space. I mean, yeah, I get it. The Link 4's job is to make the deck more consistent. And I think it does an awesome job at that. You want the deck to really come together, and you want it to actually feel like a completed version of Rescue Ace. And now being able to bridge into, you know, HQ to kind of complete the little cycle of spinning through the resource. Also, the Link 4 gives you the ability to pop things. All right, it basically is supposed to make the deck at least in the rogue tier. I don't think you're going to be competing with the big boys, which is why it's down here in the pickups, you know, if you want to play the more casual side of things. But I mean, you're unfortunately in a really weird position with rarities with this. You're dealing with secrets and ultras. Exosister. Exosister actually got the win for this set in terms of rarity distribution it could have gotten. Your rank 4 is locked behind an ultra, and your betrayal or Batmater is actually locked into a common, which is actually, or low rarity. Well, the point is, this stuff is going to be very easy to get, and you're not going to really have to cry too hard to basically step through these cards and be able to get them. Now, is Exosister going to be good? Well, it depends on how this ruling is going to be handled with Betrayal in the TCG localization of the card, because for the time being, Exosister might just be in a dumpster out back, depending on how we're going to handle the wording on this. I'm not exactly too crazy about this, but from what we're looking at right now, it's going to be a little bit of a rough one, so we'll see. Rockets. Now, as excited as I am about Rockets coming down here from the top and being this very, very exciting deck, unfortunately, Albaz is creeping around the corner, and Albaz himself is going to scare a lot of the meta from wanting to get this. Now, I mean, should this detour you from wanting to play Rockets? Not entirely. I feel the deck existing in a space where, you know, a set Fallen of Albaz wipes your entire field away from you and you can't really do anything about it is an actually scary thought. And I know a lot of people aren't going to be too happy when that scenario actually happens. And I mean, let's be honest, when you've now got Fallen of Albaz being splashed infinitely more across the board with all of these different variants, well, Elvennotes is going to come a-knocking. So I hope you're actually ready for that. And then we have Elvennotes. Now, the reason why I left Elvennotes so high on the pickups right now is, honestly, I think this deck has some of the coolest potential out of this entire set of cards that you might want to have. Right now, the big takeaway is Synchro Piles have needed a lot. And basically that's what we're getting right now with this, is you're getting a Synchro Toolbox deck that's going to have the best of all the worlds. You can do some actual crazy looping off of cards from the opponent's hand, which actually is going to feel very, very cool. I would not underestimate what Elvennotes are going to actually bring to the initial meta setup right now. With that being said, though, everybody, what other Synchro cards are you going to need? Well, I don't actually know yet for that. I think it's going to just depend on where the meta is going to go with this build. And then we have the Sheena, the Twin Storm Deities of the Divine Thunder. Oh, boy. So this is a card that has been popping up with Radiant Typhoon, but also Japan started playing this with their Synchro Toolbox decks because, you know, if you've got a Stardust Dragon on the field, this ends up being a card that you can just deploy and, like, board wipe the opponent depending on the situation. Yes, it does return back some of your pieces, but that's not necessarily a terrible takeaway. It just comes down to, you know, is this card going to be an assister for the deck, and is it able to put you into a good enough position to warrant actually playing these tools? And I think the answer is yes, it does. I am actually very much looking forward to seeing how this card is really going to splash through the meta, because it seems like there's so many cool tools available that you can just mess around with that, I don't know, man, I'm kind of excited, honestly. It seems so fun. And then we have Forbidden Crown at the top of the pickups. I mean, it's a new Forbidden Quick Play spell card. It's able to do some very devastating things to the opponent. And I mean, that's kind of what you're expecting, right? You expect to have the ability to lock your opponent in both offensively and defensively. And that's the kind of stuff that, you know, can make or break a lot of these situations that really makes this game a little bit better. I don't know if this is going to be a really big game changer going forward, but I mean, it's going to be enough that the meta is going to recognize it as a staple for a lot of decks. So what do you guys think about these pickups? Please leave a comment down below, and you guys tell me if you're a casual player, competitive player, what you're looking forward to most out of the set. You guys have a good rest of your day, all right? Patrons, thank you.
Thank you so much for watching. Check out these other videos.